The reason you find yourself frustrated is because you haven't put yourself in the right environment to cultivate the right outcome. And so in this video, I'm gonna give you 5 ways to improve your surroundings for success. What's up, good people? Welcome back to the Believers in Business podcast. I'm your host, Brian Adamson. And listen, we are not wasting any time. We're about to get right into it today because I know for many of you out there and you frustrated right now because you got all this great ambition. You set forth all these amazing goals for yourself this year and you are finding yourself stuck already. And I'm going to tell you, you can't plant good seed in bad soil and expect a good outcome. You don't plant good seed in bad soil and expecting good outcome. What do I mean? Well, you're trying to do a new thing in an old environment. You're trying to set new goals with bad habits. And so the reason you find yourself frustrated is because you haven't put yourself in the right environment to cultivate the right outcome. And so in this video, I'm going to give you 5 ways to improve your surroundings for success. Right off the rip. Number 1, you have to purge your current environment. See, we can't fall into this cycle of drinking poison just because we thirsty. Just think about that for a second. If you were, I'm talking about as parched could be, and I handed you a gallon of milk that had, I'm talking about, y'all know I'm talking about that real nasty, them lumps, them chunks for my 80s babies that drink vitamin D milk. Y'all know what I'm talking about when it go bad. And it's sour, it's nasty. You wouldn't drink that just because you're thirsty. Well, when you leave people around you that are not helping you reach the future outcome that you want in your life and reminding you of the past outcome that you don't want in your life, that's the equivalent of drinking that toxic milk just because you happen to be thirsty. No, you would seek and search for another alternative before you put that nasty stuff in your mouth. Well, same is true in your relationships and your surroundings. Although you may not have yet found the new environment that you need to be in yet, well, it's time to do some spring cleaning and make some room for the people for that new environment by getting rid of the people in this old environment that you know not getting you nowhere fast. So we got to stop drinking poison just because we thirsty. We got to start being disciplined enough and having enough faith. Like, let's talk about that. Having enough faith that I've been praying to God to help improve my situation, that I'm going to be faithful enough to say, you know what? I'm going to make room in my life for the new relationships as though you're sending them, because that's what faith is. It's acting like God is telling the truth. That's what faith is. It's acting like God is telling the truth. So when he say ask, seek, knock, right, and you're doing those things, you're anticipating that he's going to deliver on his part. So by virtue of that, then you know clearly there's certain people around you that are not getting you where you want to get to in life. And so you need to get rid of them. And I ain't saying you got to create a special throw a special party and come up with this, ceremony to let everybody know that they cut off. But what it does mean is that until you find the environment that you're looking for, you at minimum gonna purge the environment that you're not looking for. So what happens? Now, I know some of y'all, you already like, B, I get that. But I got some stronghold. I'm tired of these people. I feel guilty about cutting these people loose. I feel bad because we were supposed to have been together forever. They gonna talk about me. They gonna shame me. They gonna make me feel stupid. I understand all of that, by the way. But I'm trying to tell you, if you ever want to become successful, all of us have to go through this. There's a fortunate few that grew up with the right kind of people and everybody's on the same trajectory. And so they didn't really have to purge a lot of people out of their life. But when you come from a deficit, as I have, as many of y'all have, where I grew up with in a blue collar family. My dad was a firefighter for 30 years. My mom was a cashier at a grocery store for 25 years, right? I grew up in the hood. I caught a case my senior year in high school, right? So I come from that element, hustling in the streets and all of that. So I come from an environment to where I look back now and 99% of the people that I used to be with, I'm not with anymore. And while, yeah, all those things that I just mentioned, right? The shame, the guilt, the pain, all of it. It's a part of the process and it's a painful process. But I'm going to tell you, there's no pain worse than staying stuck somewhere you don't belong, as opposed to the pain of getting out of an environment that you don't. There's nothing worse than getting stuck in a space that you don't fit in anymore. Think about it. Think about when you get in a car, especially as a kid, and it's like 4 y'all in the back seat, maybe 5, depending on how you grew up, and y'all going to the movies and you squish. Like, imagine the discomfort of being stuck in that space. It's super uncomfortable. Well, imagine doing that as an adult, because at half the time you look just as foolish with 4 or 5 y'all squished in that car. It's the equivalent of the same thing, except for now you're a full-grown adult and the stakes are higher and it looks more goofy. But that's what's happening, right? We shrink to fit in places that we've outgrown, and we minimize ourselves to a point that we get stuck in places we no longer belong. And so it's the discipline of knowing what my yes is in order to enforce my no. See, it's hard to say no when you don't know what you're saying yes to. Why would we discipline ourselves against eating a cookie unless we know the body we desire? Why would we do it? Otherwise, it's easier to eat the cookie than it is to do the push-up. Let's be honest. So we have to look at our relationships the same way and understand that until I get the relationships that I want, although I have an idea of what these people may look like, I'm not just going to keep settling for what I have. That's definitely not getting me the outcome that I want. So you make room. And then as you make room, guess what you do? Until you go find them friends physically, you find them on social media. Change your whole feed up. Only watch the things on social media that feed the narrative of the future that you want. The things that stimulate you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially. Those are the channels you should be watching. And until you find those friends, those are your new friends that's going to fill the capacity of the happy hour, the shopping, the remember when stories, all the parties that you like. Until you can figure out how to better fill that capacity, you create the capacity and you fill it with the new content. So that's number one, purge your current environment. Number two, connect with people on social media. So beyond the fact that you're going to now start consuming new content and material that's feeding you and helping you evolve, start actually like reaching out to people. Everybody on social media that's doing something, that's having in-person events and things of that nature, all of them don't cost. Right? So there's a myriad of free events that you can attend. You can go on Facebook, just about in any industry, in any city, and there's a Facebook group or community, right? Or there's a national syndicate of a group that you can go into and start mingling with people. Start talking to people that are doing the thing that you desire to do. And when you can, start connecting with them offline. Go get coffee. Go get knee to knee. The world has become so digital, and I'm grateful for it, right? Like, I'm grateful for the way in which we can all connect with each other worldwide. But I'm also grateful for the human interaction, because that's what we are at the end of the day. We're human beings. And there's still something special that happens when you can get knee to knee, chest to chest, eye to eye with somebody and feel their presence and feel their essence and allow them to do the same with you. So connect on social media. Number three, you have to pay to get in the right environments. For some of y'all, if you never invested in yourself beyond college, you may struggle in this area. And that's okay. But I thought y'all wanted to change your surroundings for success. I'm telling you how to change your surroundings for success. If you're looking for the cheaper people, that's on a different channel, not this guy. So much so, every year for the last 4 years, we've spent 6 figures a year on business development, personal development, trainings. Why? Because when I found my first mentor almost 10 years ago, which at that time was spent almost $60,000, leveraged my credit, my wife's credit, the cash we had on hand, the most uncomfortable and unfamiliar type of investment I've ever made in my life forever changed my life. And not just because of the return on investment I got from the investment, but because I didn't know that this world existed. I didn't know that there were all of these people, to the thousands, hundreds of thousands, even sometimes millions of people that were doing the stuff that I already desired to do, that I was trying to do amongst my old friends who had no idea of what I was doing. But watch this. But because those are the people I'm close to, I'm still asking them for advice as if they can tell me how to help better do something that they don't have any idea what I'm doing. But because of proximity, I'm giving them power because those are the people I confide to. So I talk to you about anything else. Why wouldn't I talk to you about this? Well, as you can see, that's a limitation, right? Like, how could you ever win in life by asking people that have not had success in the area that you're trying to have success in for help? But what happens? That's what happened to all of us. You asking your parents on how to be a great entrepreneur when they were workers their whole life. Hello? You asking your best friend who could barely keep their shoes tied and get to work on time about how you gonna build this business. And you wonder why it's going nowhere fast. It's because you should only take business for people that have had success in the area that you want to go into. Hey, real quick, if you are a coach, consultant, business owner, aspiring business owner, you want to start making more money online. Maybe you stuck at that 5, 10, 20K a month ceiling. Maybe some of you are still in ideation mode. You're just like, I got to get out of this job. I know I got something in me I need to give birth to, but you can't quite figure out how to either scale it or start it. Make sure you come to our Purpose to Profits Challenge. My partner David and I are going to be showing you how to successfully grow your business online, helping you with content creation, helping you with marketing strategies, helping you with sales, fulfillment, the whole nine. Showing you our exact systems on how we went from not making 6 figures a year, not multiple 6 figures a year, but 6 figures a month and even sometimes 6 figures in a day. If that sounds like you, make sure you click the link in the description, sign up for the challenge. General admission is only $17. All right, $47 for the VIP. If you want to spend 1 hour exclusively with David and I each day and ask all of your questions specifically, make sure you get the VIP ticket. We will see you there, and get back to the episode. Not just that they tried and failed. That ain't good enough. They had to have tried, failed, and succeeded in order to show you how to do that. to how to succeed. So you got to pay to get in these rooms. And man, listen, when I figured that out some almost 10 years ago, I've never stopped paying to get into rooms. Why? Because here's the other unique part about that. It's not just that you paying to get into rooms and you learning how to make more money. It's the fact that the people that are there also made investments in themselves to be there, which means you're in rare company. These are people that think like you. These are people that had the same type of apprehension and doubt and worry and concern. Is it going to work? Is this thing a scam? And yada, yada, yada. And they still pulled the trigger. And then you get in there and figure out, oh my God, this is what I've been missing out on my whole life. People that I can actually talk to that had the same drive, I'm not getting criticized about working too hard. I'm not getting criticized about being obsessed, because all of these people the same way. I ain't getting criticized about why I spent 20, 30, 50,000 on something. I'm not getting criticized on any of that because these people have endured and are enduring the same thing. And from that, these spin-off relationships that happen is insane. So just yesterday, it's a guy that I met in a mastermind about 2 years ago. Yesterday, he reached out to me randomly. We would talk from time to time periodically, and we done a little bit of business together some time ago. And so he hit me up yesterday. He was like, hey, bro, just, man, Happy New Year, yada, yada, yada. Hadn't talked in a while. Like, let me know when you get a few minutes. So I said, I got some time later this afternoon. So we hop on the call, we catch up, we trade niceties. And then he told me, he was like, man, listen, he was like, I've been doing this offer. It's a one-day thing. He's a believer. He was like, it's all kingdom people, high capacity folks. It's like a deep dive mastermind business accelerator. He said it's only 8 people, and essentially, I charter a private jet. We catch the jet from New York down to Miami. We do a mastermind down in Miami all day. We go from the jet to the yacht. On the yacht, I got the private chef, this, that, and the third, the relationships that are founded there, in addition to all of the resources that are shared and all the rest of it. He was like, bro, it's nothing next to amazing. And he was like, and I thought about you because I think that you would mix well with the group, et cetera. And I told him, I was like, bro, so he told me when it was. It's actually like coming up really soon. And my calendar from now until March is insane. So I told him that the timing was off, but to keep me in mind, should he do it in the future and whatever. And he was like, man, absolutely. And he was like, it's nothing crazy. It's like 35 grand for the event, whatever. Now I know some of y'all probably about fell out your chair, dropped your phone, hit your head, all in the same process of me saying that, right? But here's what I want you to understand. Number one, my response to him was I was grateful that he thought of me and reached out, because that's what you should be. When you have friends around you, colleagues around you that have something of value that they can offer you that can make your life more successful, you should not be offended that somebody called you to make you a $35,000 offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is what I mean by you need to get into the rooms with people to where things like this is more normalized. And just because he made the offer didn't mean I need to accept it, but it also didn't mean that I should be offended by it. I know some of y'all, some of y'all immediate reaction was like, oh my God, he called you an offer. You said that was a friend? What? Look, if people around you have something of value that they know can add value to your life, and they don't offer it to you, then are they really beneficial? Because you just left them folks. People that don't add value to your life, they add perceived value to your life about filling up all this space with all this remember when and these bad habits and never allowing you to evolve into the person that you need to become. Like, that's perceived value, right? But these people legitimately are adding value that can improve your life, your family's life, and everybody's life around you. And yes, while it may be an investment, but you're going to make money from the investment. Let's be clear, right? So, but how did that even happen? It happened from number 3, that I paid to get into the right rooms, that I've now surrounded myself with people that think it's normal to call a buddy and be like, hey, I got something dope going on that I think you could benefit from. It's only 35 grand. And yes, you want to get to a place in life where it's only 35 grand. And he's somebody that I saw, like, personally stroke a check for 250 grand for a specific mentorship program. So these are not people who just make offers but don't practice what they preach. You know what I mean? That's another thing. You need to be around people who really do the things. The reason why I sell coaching is because I buy coaching. And the hierarchy or the ecosystem of a healthy evolution of life is that your mentor should have a mentor. And so the people that I invest in and with as mentors also have mentors. Everybody should be submitted to somebody because there's somebody that's always outpacing you. So you should have somebody pouring into you while you pouring into others. But if you pouring into others and you don't got nobody pouring into you, eventually you're going to run out. And that's no bueno for the people that you're serving. While every coach should desire for their clients to surpass them if they got the ambition and wherewithal to do it. But it shouldn't be because you stop growing, right? So we got to constantly be evolving and investing in ourselves. Number 4, you want to improve yourself. This is so important. We attract attract who we become. The reason why somebody would even think of me to call me with that kind of offer is because I attract who I have become. I'm sure he had 1,000 other contacts in his phone that he didn't call. So we attract who we become. So your personal development, your personal evolution is paramount to becoming a magnet to attract. Because here's the other part. While majority of wealthy people are really givers, they're not pompous. I had a lot of different words that just went through my mind, none of which are appropriate because I'm saved. So they're not bad people. You know what I mean? Most rich and wealthy people are not bad people. They're really helpful people. They're giving people. But here's what they also are. People that don't like their time wasted because they understand how important it is and what the return on investment needs to be on it. So that means, although yes, people are willing to help you, be resourceful for you, give you game, spend time, but you got to show up as somebody adding value though. You just can't be no poo-poo and then expect everybody to roll out the carpet for you. So your personal growth and evolution is paramount to attracting the people that you should attract in your life. And then number 5, and this is very critical, you gotta set standards. See, the way I look at it, if the invite is for everybody, it ain't for me. I go places where my gift is put on display. I go places where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. I go places to where the uniqueness of me has an impact on it. If the invite is for everybody, it's not for me. Now, I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm just telling y'all, you got to be specific about having standards. Every room ain't for me. Every stage ain't for me. Every podcast ain't for me. And with all humility, I got to pray, discern, and understand which ones are and which ones aren't. Well, the only way I can do that is because I got standards. I got certain people that I refuse to be around because of their character, regardless of how much money they got. I got certain people that I don't care how much money they got and access and resources, that I refuse to be around that kind of negativity. I got certain people that I would never be around because of how they gossip and backbite other people. I got certain people that I wouldn't be around because I know underneath all of it, they just haters. And they trying to stay close to me because they hate me that much. So you got to have standards. And they got to be non-negotiable. That whole saying, you stand for nothing, you fall for anything, that's a real thing. You got to have standards. And so I hope that you can be less frustrated as you're pursuing this new life. And I hope that you take these 5 principles and you apply them ASAP, because these will definitely help you to improve your surroundings for success. Number 1, purge your environment, your current environment. Number 2, connect with people on social media. Number 3, pay to get into the right rooms. Number 4, improve yourself. And number 5, set standards. Leave something in the comments. Let me know that this resonated. If it did, please send it to some folks as well. Hit that subscribe button, man. And I will see you guys in the next one.